Hi, Alicia D.R. Hankins here. This is Blitz Bash. I'm hoping I'm live. There's my yellow box. So here for Blitz Bash, bringing you many, many days of great content, which I believe we're going to continue anyway past 90 days, but I think it's going to get a new name because we're working on that. We've actually seen some really big growth there. We're very, very grateful for all of you that have left us comments, messages, got in touch with us, email, and even Facebook Messenger. I've gotten several messages actually really saying that people watch. Some people out there, you are watching us more than once a day because you let us know that you sometimes watching these videos 2 or 3 times a day because it is helping you with your network marketing skills. So we're glad to be building your business with you. And today, I'm going to guess and I'm going to say that there's quite a few of you out there wondering, oh my goodness, how do I sell to my friends? You know, I have this strange feeling about selling to my friends. And there are quite a few people out there. I want to first say that it's not an abnormal feeling. You're totally normal. There are lots of people there with you wondering that how to be okay with more or less taking money from their friend. I've heard a likeness to this. One example was where we're all okay with recommending someone to go, down to the Petco to buy something, going down to the Costco to buy something. I have no affiliation with Petco or Costco, but first 2 things that came to my mind. You have no problem recommending them, to go down there and pick up something because the transfer of money goes from their pocket to the corporation. And it sort of leaves you on the outside. It's just a person that's making a recommendation. And somehow when the money actually goes into your pocket, that's where it gets a little weird and people feel kind of strange. It's a new feeling for people, especially if they're not normally a business person. They're not normally an entrepreneur. If you already are an entrepreneur, you have no problem with this. I know. But the focus today, you are probably struggling with how to get comfortable selling something to your friends. This is sort of what we're going to toss back and forth. I'll hand it over to my wonderful business partner here, Nicole Calveloa.
Thank you, Alicia. And this is a great topic. And I have to admit that, yes, when I first got started in the industry, it was a tough pill to swallow to have to ask for the payment. You send somebody a presentation or they join you at a local meeting or, whatever way that it was that you presented the information to them. And, then comes the part of, yes, I want it. Okay. Then, you're asking, this is how much it costs. Can I have your money? Right. And, in order to be, and we get into this business because why? We want to make money. That's the bottom line. No matter what kind of product you sell, if it helps people with your health, if it helps people to lose weight, if it helps people to travel, whatever business that you're in, you're doing it to make money. That's cold hard truth, right? I mean, we all need to do something to be able to survive and to provide for our family. So, and to be able to receive money, we have to be open to receive money, open to the concept, open to the idea of taking money. It's not necessarily taking money. We're offering a service. We're giving some kind of a product or a service to someone in exchange for money. And, like I said, I was in a rough place before. And over time, as you exercise that muscle, as you continue to do it over and over and over, it does get a little easier. And, a lot of people, they have this, and I think it always goes back to mindset, that in my mind, I don't want to take money from my friends. I don't want to take money from my family. But again, and it goes back to that concept of, in order for us to be able to receive, we have to be open to receive. I mean, I've heard you mention it before, Alicia, that there's only so much money in the world. And would you like to touch on that one just a little bit?
Well, that was the savior for me. That was the savior for me. I heard it on a 7-figure income earners video. And one of the things that he said was, look, there are only so many dollars in the world. There's a finite number of money. There's only so many dollar bills, so many $100 bills. There's only so much money in the world. And it all has to transfer. It all transfers. This is economics. I know that if you've been through economics in school, it's a very cumbersome thing. It's all numbers. It can be very, very vague. But reality is, for those of you in marketing and sales, you'll know this, and you live it and you breathe it. So I know you feel it, but some people, they just don't feel it, and this is a very interesting vehicle way to see what it is that really happens. There's only so much money in the world. So there's this much money here, and it has to transfer, and it has to travel from this place to the next place, and that place to the next place, and that place to the next place. And every time it travels, it helps the person that it travels to. So I heard people who would always say, oh, I can't possibly ask my sister to pay for this particular thing because I'm taking money from her. And then when I heard this concept and the rest of this 7-figure income earner explain this, but sister is going to take her money and she's going to drop it at corporation A, or she's going to drop it at corporation B or corporation C. She's going to put that money there anyway. She really is. Whether you as the thoughtful sister doesn't take that $20. That $20 is going to go to somebody. She's not going to put it in the bottom of her mattress and leave it there for 100 years and it's still going to stay there. 100 years from now, it's still in the can. It's going to go somewhere. And that $20, when it gets to wherever it's going, whether it be a corporation, big pharma, medical, bills, electricity, utilities, wherever it goes, then it gets divvied up again and it gets sent out to another person. And they, in turn, are helping the next person. When the person receiving it gets it, it helps them to do something. So they turn around and they give it to somebody else. And then when it gets to that person, then it helps them to do something else because they give it to somebody else in exchange for whatever it is that they get. So really, she's giving it to you, she's helping you, but in the long run, as it comes back around again, you're giving it to wherever you're going to, and it comes back around. Maybe it comes back to a spot where it gets back to her employer or somewhere where she collects money from. It all goes around. So you're not necessarily taking it out of their hand. It's just part of the process of it. Transfers from place to place. And every time money transfers, it helps the next person to do something. So it helped me anyway to wrap my mind around that. I hope it helps someone out there to wrap your mind around it, that you're not taking it out of their hand. They're literally going to go and put it somewhere. Unless you know somebody who's putting it in the bottom of their mattress and they're not touching it, and they're not touching that exact that $100, $20 bill, $50 bill for 100 years, it'll probably be gone tomorrow. It'll probably go right out the door, and that 20 is going to help somebody else that you folks don't even know. You don't know this person, or it's going to a big business that only $2 of it may be getting back around into the system in the sense of the part that you'll be able to tap anyway. Yeah, right. Does that help some?
Yeah, that helps wrap it around people's head, a little bit easier and make them feel more comfortable, because like you're saying, it's basically transferring the money to someone in need at that moment in time. And maybe, you're in need for whatever reason, you went out there, you showed somebody something, and the money is being transferred to you. And then again, in turn, you're spending it somewhere, helping someone in need at that particular time. So it's just, that circle of life, the circle of money, if you want to call it that. And, again, going back to the mindset, not allowing don't allow yourself to make a decision for someone else. Maybe you see them in a situation, financial strap. And the honest truth is we really don't know what kind of situation anyone is in. And I don't like to spend anyone's money for them. So I don't make that decision for them. I allow them to do that themselves. People know what's in their best interest, and they make the decisions based upon, what's happening in their life. And if it works for them, great. If not, then, they'll let you know as well. So just never have that fear or that doubt that I'm taking money. I don't want to take money from someone. It's going into the hands of someone who needs it and continuing on and on and on and on. So I really like that subject. So I hope that was a lot of value for a lot of our viewers out there. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah. And I know you've done finance before. So it's a very, finance is a very personal thing. It's very touchy. People can get very bristly about it, But what I was thinking about while you were talking about it is making the decision for someone. So I can see where on one side, if you were to say, I don't want to ask so and so about product XYZ that I have because, and I've heard this a lot. And it's a very delicate situation. I don't want to ask so and so. Tell me if this sounds like you, okay? I don't want to ask so and so if they want to buy XYZ because I know that she has 4 kids' field trips coming up. She has to buy some shoes. I know they want to get a new car. I know they have a lot of things to pay for. So I'm sure that everyone watching can see that in that person's mindset, I truly believe they're trying to be noble. They're trying to be considerate. They're trying not to put one more temptation on the plate, so to speak, that their money could be that other person's money could be dispersed to. But at the same time, if you could flip yourself over into being the person that person is talking about, I can easily see where I would be highly offended. I think I would be highly offended. Is how dare you? So you think that you couldn't even ask me about it because you really believe that, you believe that I can't even look at it and I can't afford it, and what kind of a judgment does that make? So I don't know what comes to mind for you on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And, a lot of people would probably feel the same way that you do. And I can understand. I think for me, I would just understand the situation that person is in. They just have this fear, this mindset that, hey, maybe it's a picture that I painted for myself. And, I portrayed that kind of image that they would feel that way. So maybe it's me looking at myself. So, a couple of things that I wanted to add. And if it gets to this point where it's time to take money from people, I mean, give yourself a round of applause because you did a good job of creating the vision, you painted a picture for someone and you showed them that there's a way to a solution to whatever's happening in their life. So, and you showed them value. Flat out, you just showed them value. They've seen it and they want it. So, don't be afraid to go out there and take that credit card, take that cash, because, it's allowing you to be able to make money at the same time going out there and when you spend it, helping someone else in need at that specific point in time. So, I really hope that you, right?
Right. That's a good point. And I was going to say, another thing that really helps too is if you just mimic the store, mimic a store. Really, there's a lot of emotion that we bring up, and it's emotion that hasn't actually been talked about. So unless the person you're selling this particular thing to is sitting there and telling you and crying, oh, you're taking my last $20 and I won't be able to buy this, there's no real reasons to get overly emotional about it, really, right? I mean, they said yes, which is great. Yes, I want it. Okay, great. It costs this many dollars. How would you like to pay for that? I can accept this card, this card, this card, or cash. You don't see anyone at the store, when you buy your groceries, I'm pretty sure that the grocery person on the other end is not standing there waiting for you to have an emotional breakdown and then wondering if you can pay the bill. Okay, so I think if you can wrap your head around that and really get not emotionally attached to it, then it becomes very easy. Oh, that's great. I'm glad that you like X, Y, and Z product. The total is, $157. So would you like me to put that on your credit card or would you like to pay cash for that?
Awesome, right? Yep, you did a great job. You got to that point. You did it. You made it happen. So I hope you guys found great value in this episode today. And, if you have any feedback for us, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And if there's anything else that you'd like us to cover, we'd love to see that as well. So thank you again for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.